Hello and welcome everybody. Hey there, I'm Andy from Twisted Narrative, and tonight we've got something that I've been very excited about for a considerable amount of time. We are doing Feng Shui, Tales from the Smoke, and I am joined by these beautiful people on this hopefully crazy, kick-ass, cinematic, spectacular first and foremost, let us say hi in introductions, and then we'll go, just as it suggests, straight into the action. We'll start off across here. Um, Introduce yourself, Rachel.
Hi, I'm Rachel, and I've played in various games and various systems, including with Andy, for a long time. We've done some one-shots of Feng Shui before, which is really cool system. But this is my first time in the smoke, so looking forward to that.
Well, it's super good. Then we'll move down to a very familiar face for those who watched all of our other videos, and if you haven't, watch them, and then he'll be a familiar face. Kyle.
Hello, my name's Kyle. I've been role-playing for, seems like a long time now. We've been primarily 5th edition Dungeons and Dragons, but I'm really enjoying branching out into Shadow Dark, Feng Shui, Blades in the Dark. It's a lot easier to change systems than I expected.
Yeah, I mean, I'm an advocate for this. It's something that I was very, very guilty of for the last, well, forever, really. I've been aware and I've played a lot of systems, but certainly for the last 10 years, I got very addicted to Fifth Ed, and it's a very good system, does very much what it does. But at the end of December, kind of New Year's resolution, it was to sort of either look at older systems that I really wanted to reconnect with again, or try new systems. And I've been having a thoroughly great time. Still doing the old Fifth Ed though as well. And then we'll swing along to Jack.
Yes, hello everybody. So my name's Jack. Long time player with Andy, but kind of in the inverse to Rachel, long time 5e player. Played many times in the smoke, but this is the first time that I have played Feng Shui at all. It seems pretty, hopefully pretty simple. I guess we'll find out. But yeah, really looking forward to it. So yeah.
Absolutely. Last but not least, co-host and everything else. Excellent GM on our Blades in the Dark. I mean, I'm doing the introduction for you. Kristian, who are you?
Hello, I'm Rachel. Oh no, sorry. Hello, I'm Kristian. You'll have to be nice to me because it's my first day. No, long time collaborator with Andy. Been on the 6 O'Clock Club. And yeah, been playing with Andy for many years now. In fact, started playing in the same game as Rachel in the shop. And my favourite Feng Shui memory was when Queen Victoria was a penguin.
Of course, and Ascended, obviously. Now, there might not be, or there might be a lot of people out there are wondering what is Feng Shui. What is it? It's a cinematic role play game that is inspired by Hong Kong action movies originally, but since it was written, we've had so many more movies, such as the John Wick franchise, which really fits in with that as well. So it is all about around this. I'm going to give you an introduction to Feng Shui, and then an introduction to the smoke, and then straight, as I promised, into the action itself. So, behind the facade of the world we know, a hidden struggle for control of mankind's destiny rages across time. This secret war is being fought over the world's feng shui sites, places of power that serve as focal points for the energy of life known as qi. Those who attune to feng shui sites reap the rewards of good fortune and prosperity. Attune to enough of them, and you can literally reshape reality to your design. For those who know this, those who know this secret now wage war in the shadows for this ultimate prize. And there is no other place as rich in these sights as the metropolis known as the Smoke. The Smoke, seen by outsiders as the jewel of Europa, a shining example of civilization, the realities are somewhat different. The city is vast, and within this vastness there are countless dichotomies, deep divides and contrasts. There is the splendour where fortunes are spent in a heartbeat, and its dark reflection, the squalor, where heartbeats are silenced for less than a bite of bread. There is the bacchanalia, countless blocks of nightclubs, speakeasies, theatres and lodges, where those fortunate enough to afford tickets can lose themselves for a few hours. Or its dark reflection, the sorrow house, the asylum, where those that are lost are condemned. There are many churches and shrines dedicated to all known faiths where sins of all sorts are forgiven, and of course its dark reflection, Sut Hill, a district of mills, factories and workhouses where its congregations are put to hard labour. But for all of these differences, however divergent they are always connected by the single common factor, the ever prevalent smog. And it is here we find our heroes in the heat of battle. So imagine this is a movie, the camera panning across this cityscape. It zooms down to where this conflict is taking place. It focuses down upon you first, Barry. Please describe what you look like.
Sure. So Barry Boddington is a middle-aged, gruff man who's kind of seen it all and isn't afraid to sort of bend the rules and get the job done. I think standing in about 6 foot, built pretty well. His face is weathered, scarred. Evidence of the countless battles that he's fought in the name of justice. I think he's got sort of steel blue eyes, sporting a lovely thick mullet that sort of comes up and sort of round the back. He's got a black leather jacket on, faded blue jeans, scuffed up combat boots, and a nice fresh white t-shirt with his sort of police badge hanging around a necklace there. Carrying various weapons. Yeah, I think that's what we see.
Perfect. So the camera goes to move on to the rest of your crew, but it seems to pause, almost drawn back to you. And time seems to slow down as you, Barry, turn to the camera. What do you say?
He turns to the camera, shakes his head, and says, the smoke. Never a quiet moment. Well, I bet you're wondering how we got to this point. In order to get the deets on a black-hearted mage called Johnny Sim, we found ourselves at the front door of Tower Bridge, the HQ with the best information brokers in the smoke. And that's when it all went pear-shaped. Well, if that pair was over 60 foot tall and had over 1,000 tongues. But at that point, who's counting? So if you'll excuse me, we've got work to do. And someone is about to get a good licking, and hopefully it's not me.
So the camera moves rapidly past, and you see now the panorama of Tower Bridge. Indeed, the headquarters of the greatest information brokers throughout the entirety of the smoke. Chaos is going around. There is this thing that has risen from the slick, the river that cuts its way through the heart of the smoke. We said pear-shaped, but it is almost impossible to tell what shape is beneath those loathsome tongues, over 1,000 of them, spluing out like great tentacles, wrapped round Tower Bridge, grasping cars, and one of these flops down, trying to strike you, Granny. What does the camera see with you?
So, Granny Elbows is in a comfortable shawl, her grey curls hidden beneath a rather fetching hat. Lines on her face tell a story of a life well lived. She's relatively short, probably about 5'1". She relies on a walking stick to aid in her mobility. However, not in this moment, as she's currently crouching with the stick above her head, poised to roll out of the way.
Perfect. Yeah, this tongue kind of comes out and reaches you. It's one of a countless number. This thing with 1,000 tongues seems to be omnipotent, aware of you all at the same time. Other writhing masses of tongues speak out towards you, heavily Jade. What does the camera see?
So, Heavenly Jade, as she goes by in the smoke, is a lady who looks of Asian origin, and she's tall and quite muscular, but in a slender way. And she's wearing a very elaborate Oriental dress and heavily made up, and looks like she takes care of herself in the beauty department usually, but as with the others, we're not relaxing in this moment. So she has, the robe is somewhat open and she has a cutlass drawn.
Excellent. Last but not least, there is now, with the arrival of this thing, commotion, cars crashing in each other. One overturns and has driven almost off the bridge, precariously hanging half on, half off. Screams of people, of family trapped in there. You manage just to move out of the way, Cynthia. What does the camera catch as you dive rapidly out of the way of this oncoming vehicle?
Cynthia is a fairly small woman, standing around 5 foot. She wears a emerald green dress with the style of the Five Thunders, and she's currently rolling just out, barely getting out of the way of this car, the gorgeous sort of cherry bow in her hand, knocking an arrow even as she rolls.
Very nice. You roll. Amidst this chaos, with this thing with 1,000 tongues, if you thought it couldn't get worse, it just does. Rising like a black star from behind this aberrant demon, a familiar figure floating, flying in the sky, none other than Johnny Sim himself. He looks at you all. No need to waste your coin on information to find me. I am never the hunted, I am the hunter. And with that he raises his arm, calls down entropic blast, and throws it towards the bridge. With that, let us roll initiatives. So we'll do this one at a time. We'll start off with Granny. Roll your d6, add it to your speed, and tell me what you've got.
That is a 5 plus 6, so that is 11.
Okay. Then we will go to Barry.
Barry rolls a 5 plus 7, so that's 12.
Lovely. And then we go to, can I call you Jade, or would you like your full name? Heavenly Jade. It looks like you really want me to call
I
you
guess Heavenly would, I guess, be the.
Okay, Heavenly, please give me a roll.
Okay, that's plus 7.
Plus 7, so that's a total of 10, yeah?
Yeah.
And last but not least, Cynthia.
2 plus 8, so 10.
10 as well. Lovely job. Of course, we do have our villains. The thing with 1,000 tongues is unique, so you don't think that this is some kind of mook. In fact, you remember the history of it. You thought that this demon was killed during Operation Killdeer, but obviously only its earthly body was destroyed. With a bit of luck, this might be a weaker version of it. And of course, we have Johnny Sim as well. So we will do the thing with 1,000 tongues first. Oops, I got very excited. There we go. So the thing is going on. I've got a 2. You are lucky. It's going on a 9. You heroes, of course. We have the black-hearted mage that is going on an 11. Perfect. Okay, so we have Barry on a 12. What would you like to do as this chaos? There are civilians being injured.
Yeah.
This thing has got its tendrils wrapped round one of the towers of Tower Bridge. You also see that a lot of the kind of cables that are supporting the bridge are being ripped down as well. They seem to have no concern about collateral damage here.
Barry is very, very keen to make sure that the civilians are getting to safety as much as possible. So he's going to slide over the bonnet of a car.
Mhm.
I think he's going to take fire at the nearest tongue that is lashing out.
Yep.
But be directing all of the civilians back away. Just trying to get everybody off the bridge as he's just firing with his Smith and Wesson at the nearest tongue.
Okay, that sounds awesome. Give us a shot. So this will be 2d6, which will give you your swerve.
It will. So that is a 1 on the positive and 6 on the negative.
I told you this is how we go. So
Every time.
you roll the black dice again.
I do. And
This is not
is
the first time this has happened.
so 9 negative, 1 positive.
That's right. So you can take that one off your negative 9.
And I have a guns total of 13.
Yeah. So a 13 minus 8.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't want to break the bad news to you, but it's nowhere near enough.
There's tongues everywhere.
Yeah.
It's like, you kind of go to shoot at one of them, and then there's another one, and you just which one?
It's a lot.
And you're also, I mean, I will give you this because it was a disastrous gunshot, but you are focusing on trying to get civilians to safety, so I'll take that on board as well as your main attentions trying to do this at the moment, which is very good. That costs you 3 shots. 1, 2, 3. You move down to here, and we are on 11s now, cool. Which is Granny, but also Sim, the mage. What would you like to do? You go first. Heroes always go first.
So, Granny Elbows is going to duck as a shot goes right over her head from Barry and go,
Sorry.
I mean, you could redirect that shot if you really wanted to.
Barry, dear, me and you are going to have a little chat later about your guns and where you point them. But right now, Granny's got something to take care of. And Granny Elbows is going to do a prodigious leap.
Oh, nice.
Which means I get to spend 1 shot to make a horizontal, vertical, or diagonal leap up to 28 meters.
Yep.
And it costs 2 chi for me to do this.
Yep.
So she is going to leap. It's going to cost 2 chi, and she's going to try and leap onto one of the thicker tentacles. So she can try and
tongues.
Oh, the tongues.
I mean, you can try and pretend they're tentacles. Yep. I don't know whether Granny
doesn't
like tongues or likes tentacles. I'm not sure.
I have tongue for Sunday dinner sometimes, sunshine. Yeah. So yes, she's going to leap onto one of these tongues and sort of land very prim and proper and be like, "You need to learn some manners."
Okay, perfect.
And that's, I think, going to be 1 shot. but I don't know if that includes the extra 3. So
It
yeah.
does, yeah, because
Cool,
you
so that's
kind
4
of do
shots.
it. So
Brilliant. Yep,
1,
so that's
2,
me.
3, 4. But you're right there in the centre of all of this tongue action now. The entropic blast shoots down, and I don't know who I'm going to shoot it at. So we will boom 1. It will be Barry. Obviously, he kind of figures that you're a threat. I don't know why. And let me see if I can work out this. So we're saying the black dice are the negatives.
The negatives.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
So let us do this. Oh dear, sorry Barry. That is a 6 and a 3, which means I get to roll the positive dice again. Okay, so that is an 11 minus 3. What is your defense?
My defense is 13.
Okay, so this strikes you. It would be a sorry, that was an 11 minus 3 is an 8. Okay, and what's your toughness?
My toughness is 8.
Okay, so your toughness really counts in here as you take 4 points of damage.
Hey.
You basically see that this blast of negative energy sort of strikes you, and where it touches your skin begins to kind of wither. But you're just your general kind of hardiness. You're just not today, and you kind of throw it off for the moment. That costs him 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we come to Cynthia and Heavenly. Who would like to go first? It's basically simultaneous, but who wants to describe what they're doing first?
You go ahead, Heavenly.
All right. So yes, Heavenly has prepared her cutlass, and the way she stands, she knows how to use it. She also has prodigious leap, and she also has a shtick called swashbuckling, where you get +2 to attacks if you do something piratey. So what I'd like to have her do is use that prodigious leap to grab something that's swinging around, like one of the cables that's come free, essentially, and swing into the fray with cutlass.
So you've got a flying mage, and you've got this thing with 1,000 tongues that it's kind of lashed itself to the bridge now. So the thing is kind of grounded. The mage is flying in the air, so you could swing up and attack the mage if you wanted to.
Yeah, that would be good. Get a slot him on the way past.
I think we might have done this wrong, Granny, so I'll come back to you in a second, because I think Prestigious Leap will probably count as a move rather than an action, because it sounds that. So we'll do, if you want to do something else, it'll cost you some more shots. So we'll say Prestigious Leap only costs you 1. Okay. And then you're going to make an attack action as well. Okay. 1, 2, 3. So make your attack against Johnny Sim.
Okie dokie. Use the blue and the black.
Oh, this is boxcars. This is
boxcars.
Yeah. So you roll them again. Either something really bad is going to happen, or something really good is going to happen.
Roll both again.
Yep. And you want more on the positive dice.
No.
It's not more on the bad. So this is a terrible thing that happens to you.
Is it too late to spend fortune at this point?
I think so for the moment. I mean, let's see where this goes. So you try and be sort of swashbuckly. You leap up prestigiously, kind of flying through the air. You grab a cable, and the cable itself is badly damaged. And as soon as your weight, as slight as it is, goes on it, you just see the cable holds of it just start coming out, as you can't make your attack, you miss, and then you just find yourself falling, holding the cable down and down and down until you are dangling inches from the slick itself. The slick being a very dangerous, polluted river. So you're in a precarious situation at the moment.
Okay.
So that is you. So we'll come back to you, Granny. I think thinking about it cost you 1 shot to do your leap. You succeed, you move. Jumping onto this tongue, you can take an action if you want, which will cost you 3 or more shots.
Oh, I think she's just gonna thwack the tongue she's standing on.
Yep.
With her cane.
Perfect. Go for it.
So that's the blue and the bar. So that is a -2 to my martial arts, which is 16. So that makes a 14.
Okay, 14 will hit.
Oh, brilliant. So the damage on my walking stick, which is a staff, is 9.
Oh, that 9. It's beautiful.
It's a heavy stick.
Yeah.
Oh, it's one of those really heavy gnarled sticks. Yeah.
The tongue that you are on at the moment goes limp. It's not out of order. It's not going to cause you to fall, but it's just basically kind of, when you get pins and needles in your arm and you can't move it. It's kind of like that with it, really. It's just useless at the moment. Perfect. And then we move to Cynthia.
Okay. Cynthia's going to leap up on top of the car, drop down to one knee, aim with the bow, and try and fire a smoke arrow at the mage.
At the mage in the air. Cool. Go for it.
Hope it treats me a bit better.
Yeah. No. These negative dice.
A 12.
A 12, unfortunately not. You kind of shoot it. He grabs it. The smoke sort of explodes around him, and he just inhales it. And you kind of see his eyes now sort of black and smoky. Unfortunately not. Is there any secondary effects from that, or is it just you need to hit before the smoke does the thing?
You need to hit.
Yeah, cool. Okay, and that moves you 1, 2. Cost you 3, yeah?
Yep.
Okay. With that, we move to the thing with 1,000 tongues and Barry. So Barry, you can go first, being the hero.
Oh, lovely. So I think after watching Cynthia make a shot at the mage there, I'm going to try and do the same thing as well.
Yeah.
So I'm going to peek over the bonnet, and with the gun on the bonnet, I'm going to take a shot at this mage here.
Perfect.
So that is a 5 in the positive,
Yep.
and a 1 in the negative.
So that gives you a swerve of 4.
It gives me a swerve of 4.
You add it to your guns.
Which is 13, so
Okay.
17 overall.
17's good. That is taken away from his defense, and then add it to your damage. The damage of your gun is great, isn't it?
Yes, because I'm a maverick cop, and it's with his favourite Smith & Wesson, the damage is 14.
Okay, and you get the swerve, the difference.
And I get the swerve on top of that, so 18 damage.
Yeah, it's going to be +4. So do 18 damage. That is reduced by his toughness, but you actually catch him unawares as he's sort of consuming this smoke at the moment, pretending to look epic, and he's kind of got his arms wide and like, fear me, and you just shoot him, and it's that hurts him. 1, 2, 3 puts you down to there. The thing with 1,000 tongues.
I believe at this point I need to make a reload check.
No, reload checks are between
At the end of the sequence,
yeah.
Okay,
So
cool.
it's really good. Carry on firing until the end of the sequence.
Gotcha. Thank you.
Arnold Schwarzenegger's characters never ran out of ammo during the
After 2 shots.
Yeah. And neither will yours, sir, even though you're rolling. Not you, but generally. The thing with 1,000 tongues is basically going to use one of them to wrap up a car, raise the car up, and throw it at one of you. Who's it going to throw it at? That is a good question. Granny will be 1, Heavenly 2, Cynthia 3, and Barry 4. Exciting times. It would be if I rolled the dice. Oh, let's try that again. That is. Oh, there we go. What did I get there?
2.
2. Okay, so that is you, Heavenly, as the car comes throwing to you. So I have to do a roll. The roll is coming now. That is a positive 1 with their attack of 13. That is a 14. What is your armor?
My defense is 14.
Okay, so that is going to hit you. You could choose to dodge. It will cost you a shot, but it will increase your defense by 3. Do you want to get hit by a car?
Okay, well, I was going to say taking wound points from a boss is actually beneficial to me on a small term, but yeah, if it's a whole car, maybe not, I suppose.
It's your choice. I mean, you are heroes. You can boss this if you want.
I don't know how many wound points is likely to come from a car.
I can tell you the information should you wish. Being hit by a car would be 15 points of damage.
Yeah, that's quite a lot. Okay,
you would reduce it by your toughness, obviously.
Yeah. Okay, no, I'll try and dodge. So
Yeah.
that was 1 chi 2.
So no, it doesn't cost you a cheat. It just costs you a shot. So Heavenly, you are the D8, so you go down to shot of 5. 1, 2, 3. That moves down to there.
As I'm hanging there, sort of trying.
Yeah. It just basically this thing half on it just knocks it, sort of like a cat teeters a car off that just plummets down towards you and the slick, and you manage just to kick yourself, swinging yourself out of the way as it hits the slick, and you just see it begin to dissolve in this acidic, horrible, polluted river. Then we go to Cynthia and the mage. You go first, Cynthia.
Hey, Cynthia's going to run over. Is the cable heavily sort of dangling for at the bridge level or sort of higher up?
Yeah, I mean, it was higher up, but it's basically going from the top of the bridge now right down to the slick. And as you run forward, you kind of teeter on the edge, look over, and you can see inches from the slick. Heavenly Jade is there, kind of swinging back and forth wildly as this car just plummets over the side down.
Okay, going to sort of grab her up and start trying to drag it up and trying to pull her away from the dangling.
Simple enough to do. 1, 2, 3. Costs you 3 shots. You're pulled up by Cynthia. You're trying to aid this anyway, aren't you, Heavenly Jade? So you're kind of semi-climbing and whatever.
Yeah,
so
definitely not fighting against it.
Yeah, so there is no roll here. Obviously, the mage does not like that, and kind of shot an arrow at it. He caught the arrow, turns the arrow down. He kind of blows onto it, and all the smoke he inhaled kind of comes out and begins to weave around the arrow. And then he just throws it at you, Cynthia. Boom, boom, boom. You can have your accursed arrow back. Wasn't accursed before, but it is now. That's positive again. It's got an attack of 14. Oh, no, it's a negative. Sorry, it's a -1. It's got attack of 14, but that only makes a 13. What is your defense, Cynthia?
I think at the moment it would be 15.
Okay. So the arrow comes swerving down at you, and you deftly. How do you dodge this? Well, you don't even dodge it. You can catch it. You can knock it away. Cinematics is key.
I figured I'll throw up the sort of cable that I'm pulling up on and use the arrow's momentum to sort of bring it up a lot quicker.
Awesome. I love it. Absolutely love it. Then we are on shot 6. We have Barry and we have Granny and we have the thing with 1,000 tongues. Heroes go first. Barry, Granny, which one of you wishes to go first?
Or Barry can go first.
Cheers, pal. This is me really kind of just seeing what I can do here from a mechanical perspective. What I would like to do is I'm currently shooting over the bonnet of a car.
Yeah.
I want to turn my back to the wheel, and I want to check to see if anybody is in the car.
Yeah.
Before I get in it.
Yeah, that's fine.
And
there's nobody in the car. The keys are on and the engine is running. It's almost as if this was designed for some kind of stunt to happen.
what I want to do is I want to hands gripped to the wheel. If there is, I want to drive this car basically into the tongues as we see. If there is a mouth for where these tongues are, I want to put my foot on the gas. I'll take out his hip flask, pop it on the accelerator, and then barrel roll out as I just fly this car into its mouth, and then barrel roll out.
The good news is that Granny has sort of stunned one of these tongues that is relatively stationary. The rest are flailing around, horribly loathsome things. This one here is kind of almost paralyzed. So it's the perfect ramp for you to drive up. I mean, Granny is at the end of the ramp, but hey, that's never stopped you before. But yeah,
she's only an old lady.
It's going to be your best chance. I love this. So what kind of, I'm assuming you want to do this as a drive skill.
I would like to use this as a driving skill.
Yeah, absolutely. Are you using any kind of stick, or is this just a drive?
Just a drive, just driving skill. Just like I said, I'll put my pedal to the metal and then I'll barrel roll out at the last minute just to throw this car into the mouth.
Let us see how this goes then.
So this would still be a positive and negative, wouldn't it?
Yeah. You do this and you add it to your drive skill.
Lovely. Ooh, is that Cox? Have we got a Cox?
No, it doesn't look cocked to me. It looks like
it's slowly. This is 6, isn't it? Let's re-roll that.
Wait there. We have some rules for this kind of incident, which I can never remember, but it involves something called fortune dice.
I can spend 1 fortune to get +2 driving because of my hot pursuit.
Yeah. So you might want to do that at the moment. You might be okay. You need to roll another black dice. That's what you need to do before we say you might be okay.
Maybe I do because I need to roll again because that's another 6.
Yeah. So you roll again another 6. Okay, 1. So that is a -13 minus the 4, a -7.
Yep.
Yeah.
My driving skill is 13.
Okay. So your driving skill is reduced by 7.
Yeah. And I'll spend 1 fortune to get +2 driving, I suppose.
Okay. Which is, a total of, that would be 13 down to, that would be a 6, wouldn't it? +2, an 8.
Yeah.
An 8 difficulty is tricky. Picking a basic lock, repairing a computer, trailing a wary individual. It's not quite driving up the loathsome tongue of this. You know that the car's going to come off the tongue before it hits its target. Before you bail out, you have a choice here. You can maintain being in the car for the collision, and it will drive straight still.
Yep, let's do that.
Okay.
I think his hand will go onto the eject to see that maybe he's not going the path that he wants to, and put both hands back on the wheel and just
Okay, without not necessarily sacrifice, but we'll see how that comes. You feel the car going off, you correct it, and instead it's going straight for Granny Elbows.
Sorry, I'm not doing a good job today.
1, 2, 3. It's amazing. We've played quite a lot of Feng Shui with Rachel and Kristian, and it always seems it's a cinematic game. It always seems the negative dice are the terrible ones. But Granny, you get to do something.
Granny hears the roar of the engine behind her, looks at Barry driving up the tongue. Says, oh, what's he up to now? Oh, well. Right. Well, you want a job doing, you got to do it yourself. She is going to prodigious leap again, taking a leaf out of Heavenly Jade's book. She's going to leap onto a cable and kind of swing away from the tongue with a plan for the future to kind of hopefully swing back after Barry's next turn. So at
Okay.
the moment she wants to
Hopefully
swing
it goes
away.
better than mine.
Well, that's good because the way that this works, it only costs you 1 shot through the prestigious leap. So you're going to go next turn, basically.
Okay.
So I mean that cinematically that works out perfectly. So at this point, simultaneously, the thing with 1,000 tongues kind of can't. It tries to move the tongue that you have in effect paralyzed Granny. It can't do it. So it is quite horrible as all of these tongues just seem to flail out and open up as you begin to drive this car directly into this orifice.
Yeah.
You're not entirely sure what it is, and this is still the same term. It's going to try and take a bite or swallow you. You are going to do the damage now for this. So you've succeeded on your drive roll because you are sacrificing yourself. That sounds terribly final. We'll see how this is. It's hit by a speeding thing. So I'm going to say the damage is 17. Okay. Yeah, you do an awful lot of damage. You kind of see this thing flails in frenzy now, slamming down on the bridge, a number of these tongues, pulling brickwork of this once magnificent tower. And not only that, but well, I mean, isn't this the headquarters of the most prominent information brokers of the smoke? And then it's going to make its attack against you. If it succeeds, you have been swallowed.
Cool beans.
Maybe the safest place to be at the moment. So I'm going to make this an opposed roll, which has not gone well for it either. That is a -3. So a -3 with its attack, its martial arts, is going to be a 12. What is your drive skill?
13.
Okay, so by 1 point, you manage to slam this thing into it without it managing to sort of swallow the car. You're right against the flesh of this creature now, kind of embedded in it. It's kind of soft, horrible, loathsome, spongy material. The airbag goes off in your face, protecting you from any damage. And with that, we go to boom, boom, Heavenly and Granny on the same shot.
Heavenly, you can go first.
Okay, thanks to
No, it sounded
Cynthia.
like Granny had a plan.
So you kind of your hand, one on the cable, one on the bridge, pulls yourself up. You are back on the bridge.
Okay. I'd still like to have a go at something. I think the mage might be difficult without. I guess he's flying in the air, still quite high.
Well, he's flying around, but
Flying
I
all
mean,
over.
this is Feng Shui.
No,
There's
no,
nothing to
I
stop
know.
you prestigious leaping up to where he is. Once
Yeah.
again, you got very unlucky. It was the fact that you got boxcars and then a failure
Oh yeah.
that made you kind of get yourself fallen down.
You can't do the same stunt twice in a row though. It's not cool.
Well, you don't particularly want to do that stunt again, do you?
No,
You
well,
want
no,
to
exactly.
succeed this time.
Okay.
Sorry, that was very mean of me. As the director, it's take two.
Yeah. So yeah, okay. Try and get up to where the mage will be, which might for this involve some form of prodigious leap, possibly
very good. There's
using
fantastic black tire marks up this tongue now, and the car sort of like slammed into this thing with 1,000 tongues. So it's fairly easy for you to run up, perhaps leap off
and launch off it.
off the car up to where the mage is.
Yeah, so that'll be my one shot, and then I'll act on them.
So that is your one shot, which is you. So move to Granny.
So Granny Elbows is kind of swung up.
Yep.
And I like to think she's kind of swung away with this leap. So she's leaped onto a cable to swing away. And when she gets to the bit that kind of the stop, she's going to really quickly wrap the cable around her cane, kind of almost like in a knot.
Yep.
So that the cane will swing back down towards the car, and she's going to leap off onto another cable and just shout, "Barry dear, I think your taxi's arrived." As the cane just this heavy oak cane goes straight for the window.
Perfect. So are you going to just make a leap, costing you one shot and more chi, or are you trying to make acrobatics? Or
I think it's going to be more of a martial arts kind of acrobatics thing she's going to be doing.
So give us a roll for that then. That is not good.
Dear.
Well,
I am going to spend a point of fortune to add an extra positive dice to that.
Okay.
So it was a -4 at the moment, but with that makes it evens.
Yeah.
So that's a 16.
16 is easily enough. In fact, it's beyond the difficulty of what you needed, and you easily leap off and grab another one, swinging. So that costs you 1, 2, 3. Right, so we have the mage, Johnny Sim. We have Heavenly, and we have Cynthia all going. So Heavenly and Cynthia, your two first.
Okay. Well, I guess if I complete my attack and then Cynthia
that's okay.
Cool. So yes, launching up and hopefully sort of coming across with the cutlass to catch him as he flies.
Yep.
So I get the +2 to attacks from being swashbuckling. Is that a +2 to the positive dice essentially, or is it after that?
Yeah. Well, it's +2 to your attack, so you add it to your martial arts or your swordsmanship.
Yeah. So it's
whatever.
the to hit kind of roll.
Yeah. So you don't add it to the dice roll. You create your swerve, but your martial arts is increased by +2.
Okay. So I'm on -1 there. But my martial arts is 13 and I get a +2 as well. So.
Yeah. So you're basically +2 -1, which is going to be easily enough. Not a massive swerve to add to your damage, but what damage did you get?
The cutlass does 11.
Oh, 11, that's quite cool. So minus his toughness, you still cut him. And he's still reeling from the shot that Barry did. You sort of slash him. How do you want to do this slash? What is the design of this?
The launch up and the sort of cut across the chest.
Okay, cool. That is very nice. So that was you, Heavenly. You're on shot 1 now. And we move to you, Cynthia.
Yeah, so Cynthia's going to. I think she's going to run over and grab the arrow that he threw back at her.
Yeah, that's easy enough done.
Hold it, check it for balance, re-knock it, and see if I can hit him with it this time.
Okay, lovely. Again, so that's a -2. But have you got anything so that you can either add to it, or you can do what Granny did, spend a fortune dice to roll a positive dice.
Yes, I think I'll spend a fortune dice.
Okay, so you just roll the positive dice again. Oh, that's nice. So both of those together added to your
So -2 + 5, 17.
yeah, 17 is easily a hit. Difference between the defense adds to your damage, and how much damage does this arrow do?
So the highest gun was 14. So 13 damage from the bow.
Very nice. With this shot, how do you want to take Johnny Sim down as your arrow finds its target, its weak point? Are you doing it to take him in, to capture him, to question him, or is this sending him back to the hellscape he came from?
The intent of bringing him in, I think, going to aim to lodge the arrow just into his shoulder and sort of cause him to black out with pain.
Cool. Okay, and that happens as he collapses, beginning to fall. A number of other things happen at this point as the concentration of his summoning of this thing with 1,000 tongues is immediately eradicated as this thing begins to twitch and spasm, as the whole thing seems to be being dragged into the netherworld. Okay, Barry, you seem going to be dragged into the netherworld with it.
Yeah, I will try not to get dragged into the netherworld if possible, please.
But the adventures that you can have there. I mean, this would be your own
Split the
spin-off.
party, yeah.
Your own spin-off
Yeah, I
movie
think all
franchise.
the users are desperately trying to get to the
I see Granny Elbows. As Granny Elbows, has Kane smashed the glass on the driver's seat, right?
Yeah, it would have smashed the glass, I think. That's what I was aiming for.
Yeah.
Or
No,
it's just swooping past and you were going to leap out. It's kind of what I was imagining.
That's what I was. I'm gonna with the airbags deployed. Barry's gonna get like the comb out of his leather jacket. He's gonna stab the airbag. Give a quick look in the mirror there to make sure that his sort of mullet's looking good, and then basically just stick a hand out as the cane comes past, grab it, and then just kind of fly away.
excellent. I love it. And you do manage to, on your shot, get out of it. No one else is upon the thing with the 1,000 things, and it is its turn. And on its turn, there is this horrible smell, that of almost undescribable fetid combination of death and swamp gas, and with that it is no more. The scene comes to an end. You have captured the black-hearted mage. There's been quite a large amount of damage on this bridge and to the headquarters of the Beggars Guild, though. And as you all begin to congregate back, you see flashing lights, the emergency services sort of coming, and spilling out of the Beggars Guild are a number of individuals. One of them a fairly stocky looking man. In fact, the person that you were supposedly being seeking out, an individual by the name of Worth. I guess you don't need that information now, as like bricks are falling out from Tower Bridge behind him. Cables are sparking. Sorry, what did you say, Heavenly?
Astute.
Well, as always. But it does seem that you brought trouble to our door, as his door just falls off the hinges.
I think trouble was coming, and we cleaned it up.
I don't figure it was coming for us. It was coming for you.
Well, coming for the city, I think, is more, not you specifically, but this city is of use to one such as him.
Always the silver tongue, Heavenly. Always the silver tongue.
Well, you know more than most of what goes on in this city.
We do. Look, I'm not going to make a big thing of it, but I figure you owe us.
We could have let them.
I don't think it was coming for us. I think it was coming for you. I heard him. I heard his words. Literally, I heard his words. He hunts. He's not the hunted. But you know how this goes. If you want to make an enemy of the Beggars Guild and well, have any kind of supply of what's going on in the city cut off, you know, walk away.
Well, you know, of course, we don't wish to be at odds with the Beggars Guild, and I'm sure you would not wish to be at odds with any of us. I'm sure the time will come soon enough where we will be able to assist you again, but for now we need to get things cleaned up.
Well, he kind of looks at his timepiece that is cracked. I figure that time's now. Got a simple job, something relatively easy. And
At least wait till we put him somewhere.
well, he's not going anywhere. Look at him.
Well,
You can take him with you. You do whatever. There's a little bit of a window of opportunity with what I need doing. So, small slice of urgency, and you seem to be very good at that. Look, I'll tell you this, it's up to you. But I will have to report back to Uncle Pockets. So,
go on.
Something is rotten in the smoke. Something is very rotten in the smoke. And I don't mean that awful smell. Uncle Pockets has gone to a gala. This in itself is unusual. You see, there's some kind of unveiling happening at Cornelius Via's House of Wax. Many of the guild heads are being celebrated. Now, normally, sorry?
Are they in attendance as well, do you?
Yes, supposedly most of them, many of them, I don't really know. But he's headed off there. But this does not smell right. You know what people think of us. They want to use our services, but they see us as one of the lower guilds, us and the Ratters. So, without saying anything, it's unusual, very unusual. So we've been looking into it. Pockets has gone to keep his eye out at the gala. But we should have had a report back by one of our guild mates. I'm sure you know him, Heavenly. I'm sure you know him. You know most of us. It's Mickey Milk.
He's usually all right. He should know what he's doing.
He should do, but he should have reported back or at least sent a message by pigeon. We've not received it. So I want you and your friends to go and check it out. See if he's okay. See if he needs any help. Shouldn't take you long. Hopefully he's been to the Three Valves or whatever and had a skinful.
Possibly.
He does like his milk. The last thing he had was a lead. He was saying the only real thing that seems to have changed with the way that Via does his business is he's got a new supplier for the wax. A factory up on Sut Hill by the name of Crux Chemicals. That's Crux, Crux Criminals. I mean, it sounds a bit obvious if you just say it as Crux Criminals. It sounds criminal, chemical. Crux Chemicals. You get my meaning. Anyway.
Are they established? Are they standard chemical suppliers?
From what his first report said, they've only been in the smoke maybe about a year. Supposedly the owner is one Octavia Crux. Rich. Supposed to be some kind of genius. But if you can find Mickey, go up to Sut Hill, check them out, and be obliged. Then you can call us quits.
All right. Of course, we not want anything to happen to Mickey, and if this girl has got all the heads of the guilds there, that could go badly.
Well, they're bad enough when they get together themselves. You know, arguments start. We don't want another incident of the banana bread war now, do we?
Yes, Evangelina had to send me in a few places after that.
Yeah, I bet. Well, she's there as well, so if you've got connections and, you know, if we're right, they could be in danger, and if they're in danger, there might be a good payout for you all, really, in terms of favours or whatever. It could be nothing, but I think it's worth checking out.
That's fair enough.
We better relocate to the other tower.
I think I'll need to tidy up before we go presenting to a gala. I don't know about the rest of you, but that...
Well, I want you to go to the factory, not a gala.
Well, I thought we needed to find Mickey first.
Yeah, Mickey's at the factory.
Sorry,
no gala for you.
I thought he was checking in from the gala. But no.
You can go to the gala if you want.
Well,
I'd
I'd like
find Mickey there.
No.
You don't
All
like
right.
those kind of places.
Not enough milk.
No. Never enough milk.
Could somebody get me down off this cable, please?
Just drop, Granny.
That's
I'm
no way
old.
to speak to your elders.
These
Heavenly.
old bones.
How do you think she got up there?
I saw how she got up there. I think sprightly.
Look, if you jump down, I'll catch you. Just.
And she drops. And she's surprisingly heavy. But hopefully lands in your arms.
Yeah.
And pats your cheek. And when you put her down, she gets out from her handbag a handkerchief, and she puts up to your face, Barry, and says, "Spit." Come on. And then she rubs your face with it just to clean the muck off. He goes, "There we go. Now you look presentable. Can't be turning up at factories looking like that."
Sorry about the stray bullets there, Granny. It's been a long day, you know.
In the car.
Big tongues and all that.
Oh, don't worry. You took them down in the end, and that's what matters.
I did. Well, he did.
Well, would everyone wish to proceed to the factory then? I know we've all had a difficult battle there, but what are we doing with him as well?
Sorry, Cynthia. What were you saying?
If anyone needs a quick patching up, I could do a little bit of field first aid.
Well, that's very kind, Cynthia. I didn't actually take a scratch. Did anyone else?
Oh, yeah. Takes more to damage these old bones.
They knackered me jacket here for they did some weird poison nonsense, but it's a little bit singed. I'm a little bit singed, but I'm on the whole I'm all right.
I'm sure we can get the seamstresses to look at it.
I mean, yeah, it's all right. It's a little bit singed. I'm okay.
Right.
Yeah, so we're off to the factory, and then there's a potential gala after, right?
Well, potentially. I suppose it depends what we find out. If something's going down at the gala, we might need to attend.
Oh, let's go to the factory and see if we can find Mickey Milk. And then when we've found him, I'm sure he'll be absolutely fine.
Let's give it a go.
Okay, so this is where we cut scenes here, and one assumes, Barry, you have your car ready and waiting.
I do. I have Brenda, the Chevy.
Yeah. Do you want to give us a quick cinematic as you drive rapidly through the streets of the smoke?
Of course, I think we shift to like a different aspect ratio. Is just we've got nice visuals of Barry putting on the shades. People can sit in the front or the back, wherever they would feel more comfortable. We've got some nice kind of Grand Theft Auto Vice City tunes going with the windows down. It's a nice Chevy. There's a little, the sunlight's kind of setting. Maybe there are a few informants on kind of some of the sides of the roads that give him like just a little kind of nod. He's in a good place right now.
Perfect.
Yeah, he's in a very good place right now.
And I don't want to stereotype you, Granny, but do you have any kind of like driving soft sweets or anything like that?
Oh, the moment she gets in the car, she's offering everyone the sweets. They're a little bit stuck together, so normally you get 2 or 3 together, but she says it'll put hair on your knuckles.
Beautiful. And Heavenly and Cynthia, are you just enjoying the burning of the rubber as you kind of move through the streets?
Yeah, Heavenly's got her cutlass tucked back away, and he's sort of trying to straighten up the robe and using a mirror to fix some of the makeup that's got damaged in the fight.
Well, this is Feng Shui. I mean, sometimes makeup and hair just stays exactly, depending on what you want. If you want it to have been messed up, it could have done. But Barry's driving, skilled driver, knows the mean streets of the smoke back to front, alleyways, shortcuts. You very rapidly avoid all of the traffic and arrive close to your destination. Sut Hill is a place where there are many industrial workings, factories, mills. Crux Chemicals recently built here, taking over another one. It is very much what you assume it to be: large cylinders and vats of chemicals, huge amounts of pipe work. The whole thing is walled and then gated. The gates appear to be sort of closed. You do see that there is basically a security box on the inside of the gates where security basically check people coming and going. You can also see that there are many CCTV cameras up here. It's the smell of the chemicals is most definitely apparent. It's very, very industrial. How do you wish to approach this scene?
Cautiously.
So you park a block away, and and dismount. You, of course, do everything you can to see if you can locate Mickey. Speaking to a few of the other beggars that are about on this street. You hit Lucky. Literally hit Lucky. Lucky's a beggar. Lucky finally tells you that, yes, Mickey was saying that he thought something very bad was going on in there and he was going to go over the wall and have a look. Seems very much that Mickey went in but hasn't come out.
Did Mickey find a hole in the security to go over a particular wall?
Do you have intrusion or something like this? Any of you? Or what kind of skill would you like to use to try and do this? It's fairly secure. You can see this perhaps a higher level of security that such an installation should truly have, which in itself is suspicious.
I was just planning to ask Lucky, as he seemed to have discussed it slightly.
Well, it was like this. I gave him a leg over the wall and that was it. That was the last thing I saw of him.
How long ago was that?
Maybe half a day.
Doesn't sound good then.
He said, "I'll be straight in, straight out, but he didn't come straight out.
No.
But I've been watching.
Sounds like we might have to go in after him. Right then, you, Lucky, and maybe some of your friends, if you could round them up. I think you might need to help us get over this fence. Well, you need to help me get over this fence. I'd like to use my leadership skill to try and round up a few of the beggars to almost act as a human pyramid so Granny Elbows can go over the wall. Or get through the security in some way.
Cheerleader style. They like flip you over.
This is not a problem as the beggars realise you are doing a favour for their guild anyway, and they scurry out of the many alleys. They are few and far between here. Those that work in this Suthill don't have a huge amount of coin. They are mainly here to gather information, but there is enough to form a human pyramid for you to scamper over.
I offer them all a soft sweet.
Yeah, they are eager.
Johnson's favourite.
Johnson's favourite, yeah. I will make a note of that and we'll make that canon now. Okay. It's easy enough to get over this wall with the aid of the beggars for all of you, really. We don't like to tie down details here. So you are over the wall. Terrible smell of chemicals, these large pieces of pipe. A lot of signs with like skulls and crossbones on, indicating, toxic hazards and the like. You do see there are patrols, and the patrols round here, again, they look like they are from out of town. They are not part of the Butchers Guild, the kind of muscle you would hire for security duties. They're also quite equipped, carrying sidearms and some kind of body armor, black, made of a strange Kevlar or plastic. You can try and avoid them, or you can try and take one to question, or you can do whatever you want. How do you wish to proceed?
I think it'd be good if I could try and question one, but if we sort of decide, well, do we want to try and lure him into a certain spot where then, if he decides he doesn't want to talk, we can all.
Should we try and find a secure space to lure one over then and bop him on the head?
Have a look around for all these CCTV cameras to see if there's one pointing directly at the wall we just climbed.
Yeah, one assumes you tried to choose a bit of a blind spot, so I've taken that on board. So how are you going to lure one of these patrols, which will be 2 people, across to you?
So Heavenly will look alluring.
You've climbed over a wall into their
Well, then,
compound.
exactly. So they won't know that. They'll be like, well, a courtesan's obviously not going to just climb a wall, so they'll think I'm supposed to be there.
Okay, I love it. So you look alluring. Can you give me some kind of roll, please? This is a deception. This is you look.
An alluring roll.
Yeah. I mean, this is easy enough for you to do, but it's more like they don't go, you shouldn't be here, and shoot you, rather than.
Yeah. I mean, I don't have a technical skill in seduction, although I've made it kind of the
Yeah.
backstory. I've got intimidation though for when they start talking back. But yeah. What kind of roll does
roll 2
2d6?
dice
Yeah.
for me, positive and negative.
We shall see.
We shall see, indeed.
It's thinking about it.
It is thinking about it. Even it doesn't know what skill to use.
Oh,
Well, I mean,
crying out loud.
okay. Roll the black dice again. Okay, so that is a 10 minus 5, so a 5, a negative 5. You,
Sexy.
yeah. Well, it's not so much that. It's you basically shouldn't peer, and they kind of look at each other and they say, "Ma'am, you shouldn't be here. You what? Who? What are you doing?"
Oh, I'm a official. I'm here to when you boys need a break.
So you're a seamstress, yes?
Yes, that's right.
Right. We didn't know about this. Let me put a call in to the boss.
Granny Elbows is going to come out of the shadows and try and whack him on the back of the head with a cane.
Yeah. So you take them by surprise, and we'll cut this scene very rapid. These are mooks. Between the 4 of you, it's easy enough for you to overpower them very rapidly. So you take these captive. You may question them.
Yeah. Okay. So there's a beggar. He's here somewhere. Have you seen him? Do you know?
Yeah, of course we have. We're good at our jobs. He
Oh,
says,
okay.
being knocked unconscious and then bound and questioned by all of you.
Well, I'm not going to rub it in.
Granny Elbows she's gonna knock him on the side of the head with a cane again.
Ow!
What? Quiet, you. Answer the lady's question.
Well, technically he did, Granny, but there is a follow-up question of, well, what's going on with this gentleman? Is he?
Don't know. We well, not me or him over there. We don't have names. We're just mooks. So if I give you a name, he suddenly becomes a boss and things go badly wrong. So just him, my mate here.
Guard number 2.
Yeah. We look. We work here. We follow the orders of our security boss. He's not going to be happy, to be perfectly honest, about you being here. He's going to be less happy about us letting you be here. So we don't want any trouble. A beggar came across. He'd been nosing around. He's been taken, and all I know, there's an area here. There's the factory works, but at the heart of the factory works, there's a lab, a secret lab. And they do all sorts of things in there that we just don't know. They're working on some kind of this, and he kind of taps the plastic armor. They make this kind of stuff here. It's really good. It shapes itself to your body and everything, and it can absorb bullet kinetics. They call it Plastech. It's intelligent plastic.
Well, that's certainly interesting.
But
Yeah,
if you want any answers, I'm afraid you'll find them there. I know that this beggar got dragged down there.
Well, thank you very much.
You're very
Do you-
polite. Does that mean you're not going to murder me?
Well, I don't see a reason to murder you. You've
And
been
I mean, I
helpful.
don't want to speak out of place, but are you actually a seamstress?
Well, yes, I do work for the seamstresses.
And where can I find you when I'm off duty?
Around the
Should we do this later? This is you swap numbers in a
He's
bit.
just formed a
We've got-
conversation with you.
Greenstone area. Sorry, finding the smoke guide. The Greenstone is
Right. I mean, yeah, this is just between us and obviously number 2 over there, because I'm not trying to question you to find out where I can report you live.
No, I know. I'm answering honestly.
Good.
There are many beautiful clubs there if you get in.
Maybe you put a good word in for me.
Maybe. Luke number 1.
And number 1 is always better than number 2s.
Assuming your masters let you live, of course.
Yeah. How about you untie us and we pretend you haven't seen us and we pretend we haven't seen you?
Do you have any key cards or access codes for anywhere?
Yeah, I can get you into the main part, but not for the secret lab.
That sounds good to me.
Reasonable to me.
I think we can trust them. Can't we, boys?
Yes. Yes.
And I'm going to apply some of my philosophy here from the Court of the Five Thunders.
Yep.
And I'm just going to get really close up to them and use the cane to kind of lift one of their heads up, probably number 1, because he's the gobby one, and just say, the one that doesn't ask doesn't know, yet the unknown can still bring him down. And then I'm just going to bop him on the head. Not enough to knock him out, just with a bonk.
Okay. So I mean, it's up to you. Do you want to release these, or do you just want to take the key card off them? You have agency here.
Well, if we think they're going to follow through, it's a good deal because then they're not discovered tied up somewhere.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. They there's no need to do this. They much rather not be found to be incompetent and have all kinds of. It wasn't us. We never saw anybody, boss. Than be found tied up. So with that, a deal is
Give them a quick
made.
flash on the way out because they've been so.
Right, okay.
Just a quick.
Wow.
Yeah. That's all they get.
Expecting that. Number 1 blushes. But they take you to the main part of the factory, and they give you. Well, they don't give you. They say they go to give you the key card, and then go. I don't want to lose this. Can I just let you in? Well, you won't be able to get out. Number 2, he gets number 2's key card and gives you it.
Well, if we see one on the way out, you could maybe get it back. But
yeah. And with that, he says, "Well, I think it's time for a tea break," and that they go off to try and get an alibi for not knowing anything that is just about to go on. You make your way through the factory floor, and it's actually quite quiet here. As in, it's night time now. There's not a lot going on. All the workers have gone home. Occasionally 1 or 2 patrols, but following the directions that you've got, you make it your way through this almost labyrinthine set of passageways with all of these gantries and pipes. Occasionally the pipes kind of hiss as some kind of gas is released. It's not a pleasant environment. You eventually, though, come to what appear to be a proper set of serious doors. This is no doubt what leads into kind of this secret laboratory sort of area. There is just a key box. You do notice that the CCTV above the door as well before you start standing in front of it. It is up to you how you wish to approach.
Well, look, I could go with the police approach. Anyone about that's round back and just, say it's CSPD. Comply, be no issues, that kind of thing. But, history tells us they're probably not going to comply, so.
Could we maybe try and get in via, like, I don't know, pretending to be them? I'm sure they've got some kind of changing room around. We could all put on the slab coats and just, knock on the door and say, "Oh, we forgot our keys."
Like lab assistants and that.
Oh, yeah, Just... Oh, and I could write us a note to get us in. "Dear people, please let us in. We should be here legitimately."
Who's not from?
Boss.
Just boss.
No, well, so what Granny Elbows is going to be doing is looking around to see if there's like an office nearby that she can just, because she's got the skill of calligraphy, and she's got the idea to use that to essentially write a note as if it were from just like either Octavia Crux or something in the handwriting of someone else that looks very official. Or try and maybe mimic Octavia's signature.
You don't
so if
need
we
to
are
say
discovered
anymore. You kind of retreat from the secret lab, sort of, and you have passed a number of offices and workstations, and very rapidly you find the right kind of information, some headed notepaper and whatever. And I just love the fact you're going to just hold up a pass from the boss. You kind of write this out, and you head back to the door. You put the note up, and a few moments later you hear a beep, and the doors open. There is a corridor that sort of leads down, and to the right of the corridor, it's all nicely lit. The difference is massive between the horrible, black, greasy, chemical-y industrial factory floor with all of these vats and cylinders of chemicals, and this, which is a futuristic, sleek, sort of chromed and glass secret laboratory, and brightly lit as well, this sterile environment. As the doors open, there's no one directly in front of you. There's a corridor going down. To the right of you, you see that there are a number of windows that looking into what appear to be laboratories. To the left of you, you see that there are a couple of other doors that don't seem to be, they don't have any glass windows looking in. Nobody greets you. It's like someone. It's like I've got a pizza for apartment 28, and someone's just randomly like let you in. You've kind of shown the sign. They've pressed the buzzer and the door's opened. So you get into the secret lab. You can see that through one of the windows there are a number of individuals, 5 in total, that seem to be moving around a body on a table. The body, Heavenly, is that of Mickey Milk. Interestingly, he's naked.
Does he look like he's breathing?
It doesn't seem to be moving at all, but you can't see any signs of injury or or whatever. He seems to be attached to some kind of machinery. So that sort of indicates that maybe he's alive.
Well, if I can sort of quietly say to the others, well, that's Mickey, but I don't know anything about that kind of contraption.
No, me neither. Is it worth? Here we go and having a look at Mickey, I suppose.
Yeah,
Yeah, but he was. You're all right. No, let's go and have a look. Let's go and have a look.
Oh, yeah. Take a look as long as it's quiet in here.
Oh yeah,
We're not being looked at.
Well, as I say, that in this room there's 5 other sort of scientists clad in white coats moving around. They seem to have masks on. What is interesting is the coats themselves. They're kind of white laboratory coats, but they seem to be made of plastic as well. They're quite thin, but they're kind of things you could easily wash blood off, easily wipe down. And they've got these half-face surgical masks on as well, all of their hair tied back.
Well, that would be a good way out. 5 lab coats.
What's crack with lad down there though? You say he's alive, right?
Well, he's hooked up to some machinery, but further than that, I can't say.
Yeah. Any of you lot good with machinery and that kind of stuff? No, what's crack here?
Granny Elbows just stares.
Question. I am skilled in medicine. I don't know if I can see if these are standard medical machines.
You look at them, no, they're not standard medical machines, and in many ways they don't seem to replicate any kind of medical. There's not like a heart rate monitor he's hooked up to, or there's no drips. Looks completely different.
That's certainly nothing I'm familiar with.
All right, cool.
Okay, as you're doing this, one of the scientists sort of walks towards the door and is going to come out into the corridor. Doesn't seem to be coming to approach you, perhaps hasn't even noticed that you're here because you put up a sign to say you need to come and collect something. They're assuming you off collecting something. The door sort of opens, kind of steps out into the corridor, kind of looks, sees you at the end of the corridor, gives you a sort of nod. These are obviously the ones that led you in, and goes into another room, the left-hand door.
We go and have another word with them.
Sounds like a smart idea.
Yep.
Okay, so you follow him into that room.
Are we all going, or are we just letting Cynthia go on their own?
Well, we don't know what's in there yet.
So
you would like
all-
backup.
Is that yes for backup, or you?
Yeah.
you wanna
Let's all go. Let's all go. This lad ain't moving anytime soon, is he? So.
No witnesses.
So you enter this room. It's quite a large room. It seems to be some kind of sitting area and refectory. There's a microwave, obviously a sort of sink, that kind of thing. But you basically see this scientist. He's sort of leaning over a body, and that body is Mickey Milk. Mickey Milk is currently unconscious on the chairs. The door opens as you step in, and the scientist sort of looks up at, have you managed to find what you were looking for?
So, just to get this straight, that's a second Mickey Milk.
Well, I mean, you sort of look back out. Yeah, there's one on the table naked there, and there's one dressed unconscious on the sofa here. So Yes, that makes 2 of them.
Okay. Well, I thought I had, but I'm not sure now.
Let's have a look at your message. We're busy.
That man and that man, are they the? Which is the real one?
What is your place to question me? Do you
So
not
I'd like
know
to
who I
like
am?
intimidation.
Yeah, this sounds like the perfect point for intimidation roll.
So, well, who I am to question you is not the point. And sort of let the kind of sword
Right.
What are you doing with this man, and why are there 2 of them?
Give me an intimidation roll, please. And pray for positive
Oh, I
dice.
know. I can't even.
Oh, it's at least a positive.
At least positive, yeah. So my intimidation's 12, so it'll be 13.
13. Yeah, that's good enough. He kind of basically says, Miss Crux will learn of. That's a sword. Are you not? What? Look, I don't want any trouble. I'm just a DNA mage. I just work here.
So
You well, it's very interesting and technical. The advances that we've made of Plastech is amazing. We can produce DNA Dopplers now, exact replicas. Yeah,
what's that got to do with Plastech?
well, they're made of Plastech.
Oh, so you're saying this is a clone made of Plastech?
It's not a clone. No, it's not a clone. It's a plastic version, an action figure, a doppelganger. Are you familiar with the? No,
Possibly.
I can see it's. Is there anybody in this room that has a better IQ than me?
Have you done
Well,
this to all the guild?
at that point, he's going to get pistol whipped, to be honest,
Yeah.
because he's being cheeky.
He is being cheeky.
Because I'm from ancient China doesn't mean my IQ's lower than his.
Cynthia, have we lost you?
It looks like it.
Yeah. Cynthia was just about to ask a very important question, which we will come back to in a minute as you just hit this mook. Give me an attack roll.
Okay.
So yeah, this is just pistol whipping.
Yeah, I mean, I've got martial arts and
That's
guns,
fine.
but
You hit him, and he's a mook. You didn't give
Yeah,
him
I
a
really
name,
need
told you
plus
what
4
it
at
is.
that point, but I'll take it.
So it is up to you. You can obviously render him unconscious, or you can batter him to a degree of him telling you.
No, just unconscious. Like
Okay.
he's told me vaguely what's going on, and now he's cheated me, and now he's going out.
Okay.
So it sounds like this is the original Mickey Milk.
You believe so.
He's breathing.
Cynthia, you were about to ask something as the gun comes immediately down upon the skull of this DNA mage.
Yeah, I was going to ask if the doppelgangers have been created for all the guild masters.
Yes. I'm unconscious. As the gun hits.
So what's crack here?
They're using some form of magic to manipulate plastic, and for some reason they're making soldiers out of it. Sort of not intelligent beings, but
I don't know. We if they've made them for all the guild leaders, they might be looking to, I don't know, replace them or something. Oh, that just sounds horrible. Granny Elbow says as she's taking the lab coat off and taking the mask off and putting it on herself.
is there ever a house of wax that is not such a horrific thing? Well, yes, I would imagine the plan is something like that. We can either leave straight away, or we could engage the others, or as Granny is clearly ready to go in subterfuged, try and find out a little bit more about that
No, it's definitely worth.
doppelganger?
Definitely worth it finding out more. I mean, at the very least, they haven't got the right permits for any of this, so
Absolutely. DNA mages. You need to fill out Form 5C in triplicate for that.
yeah, we haven't had any of that down in precinct. So
Cynthia, how is Mickey looking? Can you tell any better?
Yeah, you can give me a medicine check if you want.
I brought some milk. That might help.
That's just a 0, so straight medicine.
Is 9.
9, okay. It's easy enough for you to tell he's been sedated, so he's perfectly okay, not injured in any way, but they wanted to keep him alive, but docile.
Okay. Well, thank you. Do you know if we need some form of antidote, or if we can wake him? I can't really carry him very easily.
You would, yeah. I mean, you would be able to bring him around if you got adrenaline. It needs to be stabbed directly to his heart. Tricky procedure, but very cinematic.
Yeah.
Preferably with the biggest kind of syringe that you can find.
Does anything in here look like that?
No, this is a sitting room and a kitchen. But back in the lab, I mean, they had the thing, so quite possibly there might be something in there. Whilst it's not a medical lab, they've obviously sedated him, so they
set it up for him.
Yeah.
Granny, you seem to wish to be our lady on the inside. What do you wish the rest of us to do?
Oh, well, if you see my old stick swinging, come running.
I love the fact that you're all going to be peeking out of this kitchenette.
We can go back to the corridor, I guess.
Letting Granny Elbows go in there and deal with all of these.
Granny Elbows, put the gear on.
Yeah. So, Granny, what are you going to do?
I think Granny's going to go back into the main room with. Is it still 5?
No, there'll be
5
4
of
now,
them.
because
4. Yeah.
You are one.
So yeah, well, I'll go in with the 4 of them and just say, look, just be ready to run in and knock them out if needs be.
Surprisingly, they are not. They are not. What's the word? Fooled by your cunning disguise of putting this coat and mask on. When I say they're not, is there something you're going to do that you've been replaced or something like that?
Yeah, so I'm not going to go in with I'm expecting them to think I'm the same person.
Oh, that's good.
I'm going to be going in with sorry, I've been sent down here by Octavia, Miss Crux, and well, just make sure everything's going to plan. Make sure everything's along schedule. I see this one's nearly ready. Can I have a? She has asked actually for me to have a look at a quick demonstration of what is capable of at the moment.
Okay, that's good. Good enough that they sort of squint. Miss Crux sent you down, then yes. Well, where's he gone? We need the other.
He's having a bit of a lie down at the moment. He had a bit of a funny turn.
All right. Well, we need to fetch the original because they've got to. The thing doesn't activate until there's skin on skin, and then that's all we need. That's all we're waiting for now.
Oh right, but I mean, what? Well, I'll go
as soon
fetch
as
him.
there's skin on skin, it will have all of its memories and.
Oh right, yes. Of course, and then it will operate, and I'll be trying to kind of get them to fill in the blanks there. But it'll operate with a.
Well, we'll have a member of the Beggars Guild I mean, the perfect replacement. Not that we really need it, because obviously the plan goes ahead tonight, as you very much know.
Of course, at the gala, yes.
Yeah, all of the guild's heads replaced.
Yes.
Imagine that power.
Oh yes, and just making sure that the control of it's all set up correctly. It can be. We've got full control of it. There's nothing that is going to get in our way.
Yeah, Miss Crux has the device, just in case they go haywire.
Well, of course, she is being her resplendent self at the gala. Of course,
She can make them blank slates again, in which case they are dummies.
oh, of course, and the originals have to be kept, and I'll kind of have to be kept in.
Well, we like to keep the originals alive, just in case they need to be blanked again, and we need that.
Yeah, well, of course. Oh, what's that over there? Have you seen that?
They turn
Bonk.
and have a look. Yeah, okay.
I'd like it. I mean, I don't know if anyone else is going to come in and help, but if not, she is going to try and do a.
So I'm gonna.
I won't see the bonking. I guess we will.
I'm gonna let you make an attack roll. So just do a martial arts against this one. There are only 4 of them. Now, the thing is that they might be able to trip an alarm. So this is why we're doing this. That is a 6. Would you like to?
I'm going to spend a fortune. Yeah. So I'll roll the blue one again. Mm-hmm. So that is a total of 5 on the positive.
Yep.
I'll re-roll the negative.
So that's
-5. So that's an 11.
11 is not enough, unfortunately. So you kind of swing it. So and with that, we will go to initiatives. Everybody roll initiatives, please. It shouldn't be a massive one. There's no one here that is wearing a name badge. They've all got DNA mages as their little sigil. So Barry, what did you get?
I got a 3 plus 7, so 10.
Okay, lovely. And then Cynthia.
10.
Lovely. And then Heavenly.
13.
Nice. And last but not least, Granny.
12.
Yeah, all super good. These are mooks. There are 4 of them, and they're on 8. So it is going to be Heavenly on the 13 that gets to do something first.
Yep. Okay. So
it's easy enough for you to cross the corridor into this room. You know exactly what's going on. It's just what you want to do, whether you want to use any of the equipment here for stunts or whether you're just going to run straight forward and
I mean, none of my stunts are super relevant. They're about taking damage or saving from poison or doing something piracy, and I can't really think how I could swashbuckle in here. But certainly, running surprisingly deftly and letting Granny deal with the one she's been speaking to. Go for the one who looks like they might be quickest to then react to that and be nearest to me. And just, I guess, choke them out.
Choke them out, lovely. So this will be martial arts.
Yep.
So that's a -1, but what's
my martial arts is 13, so it'll be 12.
A 12. That is 1 shy of what you need.
Oh no!
Start trying to choke them out, but they are still up. And then move to Granny.
Yeah, Granny is going to try to clobber the one she's been trying to clobber again.
Perfect. So just
yeah.
so you know, you're looking for 13s. These are mooks. If you hit them, they will go down. They are not acting till 8.
That's good. That's a 0, which makes my martial arts a 16.
So how do you want to do
Ooh.
this?
Well, it would seem if you're not going to go down with a bop on the head, one of these might do. And I'm just going to get my cane and then bonk on the toes.
Okay. Yeah, he's just it's like pain, sort of. He's hopping around. He's unable to do anything. He is out of this combat. There are 3 of them left in this chamber. Then we've got everybody but Granny going next. So Barry, you go first because you haven't acted yet, and then we'll go to Cynthia, and then we'll go to Heavenly.
Okay. Barry will, I guess, hear the commotion. I don't think he wants to necessarily start shooting to raise a commotion.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll walk down the corridor. He's gonna dip his hand into his boot. It's not a hip flask. It's just a full pint that he gets out of his boot. It's like a full pint of like stout.
Yeah.
He's gonna have a sip on that, and he's just gonna just pop his head round the corner where he can see Granny giving it the big un. And he's just gonna pistol whip if via martial arts, just bop one on the head and just go, oh, just keep it down and just crack one on the head.
Okay.
Via a martial arts.
Go for it.
Oh no, that's not correct.
Okay.
So it's a 1 positive, 2 negative,
Yeah.
so -1. But I have a martial arts of 12,
Yeah.
so 11.
11. You need a 13, unfortunately, as you swing, but a little too casual with your
I
beer
do,
in one
I
hand.
do.
You don't want to spill any of it.
Oh, bugger.
He just moves out of the way a little bit, almost spilling your drink as he does. Then we move to Cynthia.
Okay, Cynthia's going to dive in, raise her bow, and see about taking a shot.
Okay.
Should hit it a 16 to hit.
Yep, that is fine. 1, 2, 3. That is 2 left. How do you either incapacitate, take the fight out of this, or kill if you want to? Are you a bad guy?
I'm going to use one of the sort of training arrows with the blunted heads.
Oh,
and
lovely.
field and just sort of catch it in my chest, knocking it back into a wall.
Yeah. Boom, right in the solar plexus. Out of the fight, not any trouble anymore. There are 2 left, and now we move to Heavenly.
Okay. Keep trying to subdue the one that I'm trying to do, but I guess make it a little bit more cinematic. I clearly need a bit more leverage. So up against the table.
Okay, lovely. So doing kind of very interesting pirate type martial arts. You get a chokehold onto this. Let us see what happens. Again, just looking for the 13s.
Okay, well that's not going to do it. So if I can roll a fortune.
Yep. So you just roll a positive dice. At the moment, you've got -3.
Yeah.
Okay,
Phil,
so
that'll
that
do
gives
it.
you a +1, and you said your martial arts were 12.
No, it's 13
Okay.
straight, so that'll be 14.
Yeah, that is enough as you finally manage to take this one down, and it kind of collapses down. And last but not least, it is Granny on 9. There is 1 left, and they are acting next. They are cinematically reaching for the alarm.
Oh, no, you don't, you daft bugger. And she's going to launch herself, cane in both hands, ready to bring it down on the arm, probably trying to break it. She's going to give it everything she's got.
Okay. Oh,
Yes.
Very nice.
I mean, this is where you roll that dice again. Oh.
So that was a 6 + 4, so that's 10. And on the negative, I got a 2, so that's an 8.
Yeah. So I mean,
Um,
they're mooks, so you only need to hit. But I mean, that's such a good hit. Please describe.
so I'll keep it not as graphic.
Yep.
But she brings the cane down on the arms. Is no, you don't, you daft bugger. And the time seems to slow as the cane comes down. The person's eyes go wide in the mask. There's a wince from Granny as she hears the crack, as everyone hears the crack. There's just a and then you just see the eyes cross as this person goes and falls to the floor.
Perfect. You have done it. You've incapacitated all of these DNA mages. You have this blank of Mickey Milk. And you know where the real one is. Searching this place, you do find some adrenaline if you want to bring him around. Is there anything else you want to do to this secret laboratory or this factory?
Probably not. I don't think burning it to the ground would be a wise idea.
No.
Not while it's all inside here, no.
It sounds like we'll just need to get rid there in time, and if we don't, we'll need this wipe clean button from the boss lady. If there's anything else in this lab that looks like it would potentially be of interest to reversing the effects,
So you all sort of start searching around. You find the adrenaline, which is not a problem. You think you're perhaps right not to destroy this. This is a secret laboratory. You begin to believe this is a Feng Shui site. It is obviously held. Maybe she is part of the secret war. Certainly not a dragon. But you think that if you tip off your dragon colleagues, they would perhaps like to come here and try and claim this site for the dragons instead and put it to a positive use. So that would answer and solve this situation at the moment.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to try and get all the papers I can as well.
Yeah.
And just stuff them in my pockets, all these secret research. But I'm probably not picking up secret research papers. I'm probably picking up shopping lists, memos, that sort of thing. But Granny Elbows doesn't care. She thinks this is all information that the beggars can find useful. So she's stuffing everything up her blouse, in her hat, everywhere.
For some reason, I imagine you having like one of those crocheted bags with you.
Yeah, yeah. So it's all going in that. She kept the hat on as well while she had the lab coat on and the mask.
Perfect. Okay. So it seems that time is of the essence now. How do you make your escape from here? And it seems, Heavenly Jade, you do get to go to the ball. You do get to go to the gala after all. Should you wish to.
Yes.
So, is there any cinematics leaving this place? You've got disguises. You can leave. The other dragons can come in. You can get to your car really easily, Barry. You know where. I mean, you're going to go to the Splendor. This Waxworks is a well-known landmark within the smoke. It is the modern equivalent, or rather the smoke equivalent, of Madame Tussauds. It's a beautiful building. The waxworks are absolutely magnificent. Are you going to speed there and get to this place?
No, I think we'll get outside and say, right, there's no eating, smoking, drinking when we're inside, if that's okay. How else we want to? What's the plan for when we actually get there? Like, are we just turning up and just saying, let us in? Do we need to try and get passes from police captain or what? What's the crack?
I don't know. I mean, I could try and get in to say I've got a message for Evangeline, or I need to deal with who's the seamstress's head. I don't know if you want to try and use some police method, or if we have some other way. I mean, what I'll say, I think before we go, we should probably leave Mickey with these other beggars to get him back to his crew.
And to get a message off to the guild.
Yeah, aye. Look, either look, we can pop up, pop off to police station. We can tell Captain what we're about to do, or like I said, that way.
It sounds a bit urgent. If they're about to engineer this skin-to-skin contact, then you'll have a copy of each guild member. You won't be able to know easily which one's which, apart from, I guess, if one feels plastic.
Okay.
The Plastic Doppels looked perfect.
Yeah.
What if we try and sneak in, find the office, see if we can find this wipe device?
You assume that she's probably got it on her.
Yeah.
So that would
Hoping
mean
it'd
we've
be
got
big
to
and
get close.
bulky.
Yeah, we got to get close to her then if we wanted to find this thing. Unless we want to find some way of exposing her if we can.
So we could take longer if you wish to go back by the police station.
No.
The assumption then would be that they've probably completed and we would need the switch.
You can obviously phone things in as well. You don't actually have to go to the police station.
Look, Heavenly, if think time is of the essence and you think there's a good way in, that you've got that, then I'm happy to trust you, pal.
Well, I don't know that I've got a good way in other than trying to use the guild connections and by all means send a message off to the captain about what's happening, because this could go wrong, I suppose.
All right, let's do that. Let's pop in. No Werther's originals in the car, please, because we've got leather seats and they can stick to that. But maybe we'll pop in, let them know what's cracking, and then we'll go to Bowl after that. How about that?
All right, then.
So you're going to drive to the TSPD.
Yeah, I guess cinematically would go to the TSPD, the smoke police department, let them know what we're doing before heading off to the ball.
Okay. So as you enter, do you all go up into the police department with Barry? Okay. That's just like some people have got things to hide by the looks of it.
I think Granny Elbows would probably be by his side. Probably fussing over him at the moment, trying to make him look his best.
Yeah.
It's probably not wanted, but she's doing it anyway.
So as he sort of walks in and many of the other detectives sort of see him, they all start sort of clapping. It's a slow sort of sarcastic clap and you start hearing a few sort of jeers of, well done, you only took down one of the towers of Tower Bridge tonight.
Oh, bring your noise down. You weren't there, were you?
Very good. Are you dating her now? She's got lots of tongues.
Well, she's better than all of you lot, so I'll probably wind your necks in, lads, if I'm honest.
And then you suddenly hear above this clapping, Boddingtons, get your arse in here now. And it's the sergeant.
All right, Elbows, why don't you give these lot just a quick report about what's going on? I think we've just got to have a quick chat with Captain.
Okay, dearie, just don't be too long.
No,
leave me on my own with all these big burly men.
No, I think they're more frightened of you than they are of you. Don't worry about that. The pussycats.
Do you know who I've just got off the phone to? We don't even have a mayor in the smoke.
Is it the mayor?
He's been on the phone.
He
doesn't even exist.
Wow! Just a mayor that don't even exist. That's a lot. That's a lot. I'm sorry about that, Captain.
I wouldn't mind, but I'm literally a week from retiring.
Your arse is on the line, isn't it? Your arse is on the line. Look, I know I'm also 2 weeks out of retirement as well. I appreciate this. It's a lot for all of us, isn't it? So, oh mate, it's been a day. I was driving a courser into Tong, and then we found like clones, weird sort of skinny, fleshy plastic clones.
Just get out of my office with this nonsense talk.
I just let you know that's what I'm up to now. We're just telling you we're off to the ball because we found all of these weird clones and that kind of stuff.
This is your final warning. Otherwise, I don't want your badge. I don't want your gun, and I'm going to want it now.
Tomorrow,
Yeah,
no,
tomorrow.
got
Well,
that. Yeah. Sound. All right.
get out
Good
of
luck.
here.
Granny, have you told them everything that we need to know about in terms of backups and that kind of stuff? Aye.
Granny turns from a gentleman, one of your colleagues, who has currently got his tie in a shredder. Oh yes, I have told him everything he needed to know when he started being polite.
And we've got the backup of the TSPD if we need to, right? All right, guys.
Yeah, we've got you back. You know that.
We'll just flare into the air. We think we've got a way in, right? We think we've got a person in car who thinks we've got a way in, but look, if things go south,
We'll just wait to hear for the explosions, then we know that you've arrived.
Yeah. Sound. All right. So, just all right. I think that's it, innit, Granny?
As you go, you see that the Force's psychologist is making a beeline for you. Barry, you're on the edge.
It's the captain he needs to see. Imaginary maintenance.
I'm sound. Don't worry about me.
You've missed your last 3 appointments.
It's. I know. Look, there's just a lot going on.
You're on the news footage. You drove a goddamn car into that monster. You've got a death wish.
Look, if it were me against the entirety of the smoke, it's going to be me every time. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
I'm living on the edge, and you can't take that away from me.
No, you'll be taking it away from yourself when you die. Now, look, it's my job to make sure that everybody here is fully aware of the dangers that they're exposing themselves to. And you are on the edge.
I am.
Don't miss the next meeting. Otherwise, I'm signing you off.
Fine. I won't miss it. As long as you don't give me a partner, because I work alone, apart from these 3 weird ladies here.
It's funny you should mention that.
They're definitely not part of the police.
Okay, all right, just fine. Right, Granny, come on, we're off.
Is this your granny? You never told me you got a granny.
No, she's. No, she's just first name Granny, second name Elbows. I'm sure she's got some kind of report that there is on there on that computer.
Are you a doctor, dearie?
Doctor of the mind, and
it's a shame because I've got this boil.
Not one of them elbows.
Look,
it just
no. I'm out of here. No. I'm out of here. Don't miss it. And with that, you are. You're able to leave.
That went really well.
You're a maverick cop. But you know that they'll be there when you need them.
Good. I guess we'll get back into the car.
Yep.
Head off to the ball.
Yeah, you drive them to the gala. The gala is well underway by the time you get there. It must have been a good number of hours now. There's no real sort of security checks, but it's a black tie affair, tuxedos. All of the most important people have been invited here from across the smoke. A gala event. Celebrities, guild heads and corporate CEOs are rubbing shoulders with each other out upon the steps of the House of Wax, but also inside as well. It's all lit up, and you can see that there's huge banners down the front with spotlights on, advertising the opening of these new chambers of the prominent members of the Smoke. You do know that there is an underground car park that you could go down to. You know that there is probably a delivery sort of bay for deliveries, or you can attempt to drive your car through the front doors of this place.
No, I think subtlety is probably the best course of action here. Let's go to the private car park, as we're doing. We'll say to Heavenly, so you've got a plan, right, to get us in, more or
We'll have
less.
to see what's around. There might be a stealthy means we can use that I can at least get into the inner chambers first.
Okay.
So as you drive down into this dimly lit underground car park, you notice something strangish. There's quite a large delivery lorry there. It is labelled up Crux Chemicals, and there are a number of individuals that are moving quite large crates from the House of Wax into the lorry. They haven't particularly paid attention. There's other cars here as well. They're getting about their duties.
We don't know if we need to stop them taking that away or not yet. We don't really know what's in it.
The crates would be described, if I was to describe them, body-sized.
Leaders.
Okay.
Akin
think
to
we-
like a coffin, but crates rather than obvious coffins, because they are discreet.
And
Yeah.
they're taking them and they're putting them into the lorry.
Yes, they're taking them from.
So these are likely to be the real ones.
Well then,
I think, well, we will need to get inside, but I think we need to prioritize making sure they don't get these back.
Probably.
Perhaps our entrance is getting them out of those boxes to essentially just let us walk in with them.
oh, that's a very good idea. That's a very good idea.
Then-
How do we approach this though? Should we go in all guns? Do you want me to put the lab coat back on and pretend to
Yes.
be one?
Pop a wig on as well.
Can any
What, over the top of me hat?
Aye.
Have you got a wig? Is that standard police issue?
Check glove compartment. I don't know, pal. If you don't have one on, you don't worry too much about it.
One-
Maybe all guns blazing. I mean, I'll leave it up to you guys. Ain't my forte, this.
I don't know. I mean, yeah, apart from intimidation, my skills are gambling and piracy. So also not that relevant.
Oh, I've got an idea. Right. Pass us your thermos, Barry.
Yep, glove compartment. Well, it's full of stout. But if you just tip that out,
Oh no, that's all right. I don't need it for the rest of it. Right now, once again, if you're all happy to be to back me up, and well, you might want to shoot the tires out, Cynthia. Just make sure that they can't get away in case they try and do things. Your arrow should be nice and quiet. So once I get them distracted around the back, if you hear me screaming, come running.
Okay, so Cynthia, I want just a single roll off you, or maybe multiple rolls if you fail. But let's see how you do here. Oh, you get to roll that 6 again. Oh, you get to roll that 6 again. Very nice. So it's a relatively simple task anyway. So I like the idea of you firing multiple arrows at the same time, and they take out at least 3 of these tires. This lorry's not going anywhere. I mean, it could be driven still, but it's going to make a lot of noise and it's going to be easy to chase down. They are unaware of it as Granny Elbows goes round the corner. There's just like some workmen are wearing overalls.
Oh, gentlemen, what a night to be working. Oh, now, why don't you lovely ladies and men join me over here to have a nice sit down and a nice cup of tea? You've been working hard all night. I brought my thermos to join you. And why don't we all sit down? And I think it's time for you all to have a break. And I'm going to use my leadership skill again to try and, coerce them into going on a bit
Okay.
of a break and sitting down.
Okay. Give us a roll.
Can I ask, is the van like solid, or is it like, a big truck with the canvas sides?
What would you like it to be?
I guess I'd like it to be canvassy.
Yeah, so it's canvas.
All right.
You can create terrain
Yeah.
for your stunts in this game. Absolutely. So that was a -2 to your leadership skill.
Yeah, that's a 9.
A 9 is okay. You're not asking them to do anything that they
No.
perhaps don't actually want to do. You get the feeling that these are workmen rather than individuals in disguise, and they kind of, oh well, we've not stopped all day. It's very kind of you. And there's only like 2 of them anyway. But as you kind of look into the back of the van, you can see that there's quite possibly at least 8 boxes in there already. They've been moving these for a while.
Yeah. And I'm gonna, as we're walking over, I want to give them everyone else a bit of a wave to sort of say, if there's something you want to do whilst I've got these guys distracted, now's the time to do it.
Absolutely.
Okay.
So they're distracted at the moment, having a tea and speaking to Granny Elbows.
Yeah. So I want to move up to the van so that, the other side of where they are so they don't see or whatever. Yeah. And use the cutlass to
you cut your way into the van nicely.
Cut it in, so that we can do like on the cop show and do the sneaky unload of
So what you do, just unload the van.
Well, I want to make sure that if they come back, they don't think it's in drivable condition. But to start with, if everyone wants to unload some, we could do it from this side while it's not visible.
Perhaps pop one open and confirm our suspicions before we start moving rates.
If I can try one, I mean, I particularly like to see who we've got.
Okay, so it's fairly easy to jimmy one of these open. In fact, there's a very convenient crowbar hanging at the.
Don't want to damage my sword.
You open it up and you come face to face with Evangeline Purity, someone who you are very familiar with, the head of the Seamstresses Guild.
Yeah.
She seems to be alive, but in a similar state to that of Mickey Milk.
Yep. And I guess we don't have any spare adrenaline.
Unfortunately not.
No. Okay. Yeah, I'll bring her out.
Yep.
Back to the car so that those guys that are still there go, well, the first box was Evangeline. I think we're certainly correct in our assumptions. I've made a hole in the side. We could try and unload them, or we could just damage the van for now.
The van itself has got 3 arrows in all the tyres. The van's not going.
Good. Yeah, it's definitely not driving anywhere. Sorry. I'll leave them there. Yeah, if you just want to check them later, as you say, you've arrowed the van.
If we've disabled it, let the workers continue. Bring them all into one location where we can keep an eye on them.
All right. Yep.
I'm not sure. If we could potentially find some things at the party to knock together something that might revive them.
We needed adrenaline from the lab, but they'll probably have some supplies in case.
I've got radio.
Some first aid kits.
Yeah. I've got radio in car. I can tell the TSPD to see if if this adrenaline, if they could go down there and see if they find any adrenaline, bring it back.
Well, yeah. what kind of evidence would they need? Like if they came and just saw all the guild guys in the van, would that be?
Yes, I mean, it's pretty cut and dry. I think if they just came and just saw what was cracking here, I think that's enough for them. So I think if they think we're all right here, I'll radio it in. I'll bring it in. I'll tell them to go to the lab, bring some adrenaline, that kind of jazz.
Yeah. And obviously, if they see ones walking about in the meantime, you know, don't listen to what they say.
No, of course not.
I hope they believe you.
So you phone it in.
I do.
You get put through to the sergeant as your colleagues don't believe what you're saying. And the sergeant shouts at you and says, "What the hell are you doing? We'll send some people down to get them. Get in there and get her arrested."
All right, pal. Yep, on it. And I'll look at everyone else. That thermos of stout that we had earlier, I'm going to screw that onto my gun to make a silencer. And I will say, right, it's all called in. We're off to the races. Come on, have it.
Okay, great. So in terms of actually getting in, is there anything that could potentially be used as an access point? You know, the old air vents or anything?
Well, there's the elevator where they're bringing these crates down from it, so you can literally go into the back storerooms and get into the main part of the House of Wax really easily.
Fair enough.
You move swiftly now, people with a mission. It's fairly obvious that Crux chemicals are behind this. You don't know all of the details at the moment, but the one that can facilitate the answers is indeed Octavia Crux. As you search the place for her, you see that it is full of celebrities, of CEOs. Guild heads, though, somewhat thin, but there is a beautiful display of them. You see Octavia Crux together with a very oldish looking woman dressed in a very nice black suit, quite possibly her PA, quite possibly her bodyguard as well. And they both seem to be speaking to a number of identifiable people. You see that there is Titus Pinch of Pinch Multimedia, the individual that owns all of the press, all of the TV and radio, all of the multimedia across the smoke and beyond. And he seems to be very interested in what they're saying as they are showing the new display of the guild members. The place is packed, though. How are you going to do this?
Are we looking for the chemical lady?
Yeah, that's her, Octavia Crux.
Yeah, directly.
Are we just going up and arresting her? Is that the plan? I got a call from the chief just to go up and.
Well, bear in mind she likely controls these secondary guilds. They could form a kind of army until we can get to the switch.
Perhaps the best thing to do would be to run in as an officer saying there's been a bomb threat or something. Everybody needs to evacuate until there's backup to disperse it a bit.
That's an interesting idea.
Get civilians out on that. Yeah.
You can see that right next to you there is a fire alarm.
Give it a pull.
Yes, give it a pull.
So you bang that. Chaos ensues as the alarm goes off. The sprinklers begin to sort of sprinkle down. It is action time at the moment as the crowds are panicking, moving out of here. You clear most of the civilians. You notice that Nanny Nisbet the PA of Octavia Crux sort of takes a defensive position by her as she begins to escort her out. If you're going to try and make an arrest or strike at her, now is the time to do it.
Yeah.
Draw.
Yeah. I mean, Barrow will be going up with gun in hand and a huge service on the end, telling them to
Definitely the police.
It's pouring down with this. You approach her as a group. She looks at you and says, "I am Octavia Crux. Yeah, you shouldn't even be thinking about arresting me. Get out of my way."
That's
Yeah, sorry.
resisting arrest, so let's shoot her.
Yeah, sorry, pal. Just put the. Well, I'm thinking about it, so put these cuffs on. We'll deal with it down in the precinct, eh?
Yeah, the PA stands in front of you, this older woman dressed in a very nice, expensive suit, says that's not going to happen, and give us some initiatives as we go into our final conflict. Yeah.
Is Granny Elbows there, or is she still downstairs?
You're there now. I'm assuming
Okay,
you
cool.
followed them up after
Yep.
making all of this happen. Sorry, I should have clarified that. Okay, Barry, what did you get?
6 on the dice plus 7 speed, so 13.
Oh, very nice. And then Cynthia,
Can you use fortune on initiative?
why not?
Okay. And so 16.
16, very nice. You are super fast now. And then we move to Heavenly.
11.
Okay, and last but not least, Granny.
7.
7, okay. Very good. With all of that, we have got the established things. They are going on a 10 and a 9. So, Nanny Nisbet is on 10 and Octavia Crux is on the 9. So we move to 16, which is you, Cynthia. What are you going to do?
Okay, I am going to attempt to shoot the Nanny Nisbet. I believe she's in front.
Okay, go for it. Boom. That is positive. Positive 2.
So 16.
You add the 2 to your archery skill.
Yes, and the first combatant in the attack of a fighter get +2 to gun attacks, and you and all of your allies gain +1 to attack values for the rest of the first sequence.
Right, so you've got +1 to your attack values. Lovely.
So 18.
18. Okay, so you hit and you do some damage. This was which one? Sorry,
The
Crux or the PA?
PA.
Okay, very nice. I'll make a note of that. You hit and she takes some wounds. Then with that, we have Barry and we have Cynthia again on 13. So Barry, what would you like to do? You've got this huge silencer and this gun pointed.
I'd like to just try and shoot the PA just in the shoulder as like a flesh wounds warning type thing. Just get out of the way.
Yeah.
I'm gonna make a shot, try and catch any kind of remnants of stout.
Okay.
A 1 and a 3. So does yours apply to this? So is this technically a 2, or is it
No,
apply after?
you do your swerve and then you add
Right.
the one
Okay.
later.
Cool. So 1 minus 3, so -2 onto a guns of 13.
Yeah, plus the 1 for the attack. So
Yes.
that'll be 14, which is a hit. The swerve is 0 because the defense is 14. So it's just your gun damage minus their toughness.
Yeah, gun damage is 14.
Okay, so you bang into the shoulder. She staggers back, but you notice she is indeed not just a normal PA.
Mm,
She
yeah.
is, as I've described, a lethal PA.
Yeah.
And we move to you again, Cynthia.
Yeah, so take another shot. So that's neutral, which makes it a 15.
Yep, 15 hits. This is against the PA as well.
Yep, and going to be a smoke arrow, giving
Okay.
them an impairment of 1.
Okay, very, very nice. Does it do damage as well? Or is it just an
Uh,
impairment?
It says, when you hit an opponent with the arrow, that opponent suffers the impairment until the next keyframe.
Yep, okay. It doesn't do it's basically a there is a smoke cloud and she starts coughing. Then we move to Heavenly on 11.
Yep. Heavenly will walk forward, stride forward, and draw the sword.
Yep.
Step aside.
Okay. She looks at you, and as you're closer, you realise that there is no setting aside. She is devoted to her ward, and she's not going to do that. You can try and intimidate as your action. This might sway her, but other than that, you can attack.
No, I'll attack. I don't think
Cool.
it's going to get anywhere.
Yeah.
So use the cutlass.
That's straights. You're looking for a
I get to
14.
13.
13 just misses.
Using the +1.
Oh, yeah, you've got a +1. Have you added the +1?
No,
No,
that's very good.
so you have your damage. That's the great thing from Cynthia.
Nice work, Cynthia.
Doing this good, and you do 11 points of damage with your scimitar.
Yeah.
Is that correct?
Yes.
Very nice. Perfect. We are now at Nanny Nisbet. We are at Barry, and we're at Cynthia. So heroes first. Barry and Cynthia. Who wants to go first?
Go on, Cynthia.
Okay. So, let's try a real arrow this time.
Oh, that's a 6. So you re-roll that 6 again. So 7 minus 5, 2.
So 17.
17 hits. So that's +3 upon your 14-point arrow. Is your arrow 14 points?
13 points.
13. So that is 16 minus the toughness. She's looking in a bad state now. It seems that this onslaught against her is paying off. And we move to Barry.
I'm going to point the gun at the other shoulder and say, look, I'm 1 week from retirement here. Last chance just to bugger off.
Okay. She doesn't say okay. She just stares you in the eyes. Retire me if you dare.
Okie dokie. And I'll just take another shot.
Okay.
Wait, stout.
You can spend a fortune if you want, just to roll another positive dice. You've got a negative 3 at the moment.
Let's do that.
Oh, very nice. You don't.
Does that not re-roll?
No.
Okay.
So you get a positive 3 though.
Cool. And then I guess a positive 4 after the Cynthia's buff.
Well, it's +1 after Cynthia.
Okay.
Plus the impairment. So
Cool.
yeah. So how much is that in total?
So I do apologize. So I think it was my 3 plus. I'm very sorry. It's all disappeared off here. I think it was.
That's okay.
Uh,
I make it with your fantastic weapon of 14 damage that you've got 18 minus their toughness is easily enough to take them down. So
sounds
how do
about
you
right.
retire her?
It's just one shot to the right shoulder, one shot to the left shoulder, and then we'll just kind of do I would call it a shoey, where you pour a beer into a shoe and drink it, but instead of It's like a gunny where he'll just drink it, and it just sips down off the off the gun, and then will kind of creep back over and get his handcuffs off the back of his thing and get ready to start handcuffing the.
She says that's not standard police procedure.
Well, I'm not a standard cop.
She pulls her thumb off, pop, and the tip of her thumb is connected to her hand, and you see there's a monofilament wire in between as she slashes out against you to see if she can cut you in half.
Why?
It's a one shot. Oh dear!
Oh
dear! This is either disastrous for her or for you.
Is that good?
That's
No.
bad.
It is good.
That's bad.
That's good for you, bad for me. So I'm going to say, I mean, this is a monofilament wire. This is a weapon that can cut through anything. She does this and she starts acrobatically sort of swinging it around. Some of the Boddingtons beer, which I'm assuming that is sponsored by the way, so contact me. It flows out onto the floor a touch as you move out of the way, forming a thin film on the floor. She slips on it, and it's disgusting in many ways, as
Because it's Boddingtons. Yeah.
because she cuts herself in half. And you hear behind you, Boddingtons, it's your sergeant. I said arrest the damn woman, not cut her in half. And with that, credits roll for the moment as we have overrun. You have defeat. I can't believe you had to use my own bad luck against me to defeat me. But defeat me you did. Obviously, at the end of the credits, you see the end of credits scene with the guild members being revived and the device being used to deprogram the plastic waxworks that were going to be used to infiltrate the guilds, take control of them, and hand over a huge amount of political power to Octavia Crux. All she's got for all of her hard work now is burial in 2 coffins.
And the guilds all kind of owe us.
The guilds now do all owe you. Fantastic work, crew. Fantastic work. So it seemed like the perfect point to bring it to an end with that botched box cards, dice. So a lot of us have got work tomorrow, so I don't want to keep everybody up. Thank you very much for staying with us. We have overrun a little bit, but let's get some final reflections upon the game, the system, and whether you enjoyed tonight's session or not. We'll start off with you, Rachel.
Yeah, it's a great system because, like you said, it's really cinematic, so you can try and do something a bit more daring, which isn't always easy. But the what are they called? The special things you can do in each class.
The shticks.
The shticks help you kind of determine what that might be. So I said, as the redeemed pirate from the past, swashbuckling to encourage you doing something piratey, and that you can take a lot of damage, or you can take a lot of drinking equally as you go out there. So yeah, the system's fun. Like you say, it's not too heavy on the rules. You generally just roll the 2d6 and add them on. Although, as we've found every time, it tends to
It's unbelievable, isn't it?
The negative ones that are always higher.
It's bizarre. It's bizarre. It's not the first time that it's happened.
No. Yeah. So, but no, it's fun, and it was good to try it in your smoke settings.
Awesome. Kyle.
It was a lot of fun. It was quite interesting getting to learn a bit about the characters and wishing I'd gone a bit more cinematic But I guess as you play a bit more, you get a bit more confidence to do that.
It's actually really difficult when you are used to one sort of system that is not cinematic. You kind of don't know how to sort of play up so much to it, and what can you do and what can't you do. But it's quite liberating when you kind of realize it. I know it's your first time. Would you be tempted to play again at some point? Not necessarily as this character, but as other characters.
Yeah, I'd be interested in playing again.
Cool. Excellent. Well, I'll count that as a win then. Jack?
Yeah, I really enjoyed the level of creativity that it kind of gives the character. Like I said, I'm very much a 5e player, but I think just being able just to kind of just roll with it and that kind of thing was really fun. So yeah, I'll definitely look to do it again in the future.
Excellent. And last but not least, once again, Kristian.
Well, Feng Shui is one of my favorite systems. It's so versatile, and it was my first time playing the smoke. I found it very interesting as a setting. I like how it is almost like a liquid. It will fill whatever you want it to do, really, whether it's past, present, future, whatever you want the smoke to be. You've adapted the smoke to be that thing, which I really like. I also like the idea now that anyone can just be the mayor of the smoke by declaring themselves the mayor. So that's now in my headcanon for all versions of the smoke. So thank you for that.
Yep.
But no, it's a lot of fun. I love Feng Shui, and sort of said to you, Carl, it gets easier. You start. I found I started slow when we were doing the very first Feng Shui, which was years ago at a 24-hour Chimericon, and we had 24 hours to grow into it.
Yeah.
But the more you play Feng Shui, the easier you find it, and the more fun you can have with it.
I mean, that's it. It's not breaking the thing when I kind of said to Rachel, well, do you want it to have a canvas thing? You can create the environment around you so you can do these crazy, they call them stunts, basically. I very much enjoyed it. I hope you enjoyed the sort of story and the aspects of it. I hope everybody that is watching this when it is uploaded to YouTube, you've all enjoyed it and it has perhaps persuaded you to give the system a go. Let us know in the comments below. We have now a huge amount of time pressure in terms of what videos we can and can't do. So we need to hear you want more of this, so that we'll do more of this. Otherwise, we'll do other systems that are people are asking us to do, basically. But I would very much like to play as much Feng Shui or Feng Shui as I could possibly play, because I just enjoy the madness of it. I mean, tonight we've literally driven a car into a demon that has 1,000 tongues. We've played out all of the cop movie tropes that you could possibly do. You found some sort of plastic replicant type things, and you've stopped the smoke being taken over by some kind of billionaire woman who cut herself in half by accident right at the end of the movie. I mean, that's a good fun night's worth of entertainment. And if you have enjoyed it, please give us a like and subscribe. And for now, I think it is the perfect time to say good night, because there are plenty of these poor people that have to be up bright and early tomorrow morning. So I very much appreciate you hanging out to the end. So without further ado, good night from me and good night from everybody else.
Bye.
Cheers all.